Gavata, her first book. It's your first book?
Yes.
Get Yourself Together First. Events from a Diary of a Child of a Crack Addict. The granddaughter of Bishop McCullough. Bishop McCullough, Sweet Daddy McCullough. Bishop McCullough is a prominent preacher here in D.C. in the 70s and the 80s. We want to talk about this book. This is very touching. Now tell us about this book and how this will help restore relationships with families that have had a crack addict in their family.
Okay, so I wrote the book to focus on two different audiences. The first audience was for drug addicts. A lot of times drug addicts will get clean and be clean maybe for 30 days or even during the process of their sobriety, and they're so quick to run back to restore relationships with their children, with their family members, or worried about winning trust from their parents or the people that they have hurt in some type of way, and they fail. And so then there's the disappointment from the children all over again. And so what happens is, if once the addict get themselves together first, then the forgiveness comes. That's what happened between me and my mom. The second audience is for the children or the family members of addicts to let them know it ain't bad. It may, yes, you may have been molested. You may have been left in some bad homes. You may have been through a lot. You may have been stolen from and feel embarrassed, and the neighborhood talked about you and had the worst time coming through school. But the victory is that you came through it. That's the first thing. And forgiveness is for you. It's not for the other person. So with those two audiences, I wanted to be transparent and expose much of what I went through during my mother's addiction. It means she didn't leave me in a great home, but I wanted the people to know that you can still forgive, especially once they get themselves together.
How did you overcome those embarrassing moments as the granddaughter of a bishop?
You just do. Resilience. You cry. You go through things during your teenage years where you may rely on other friends and families. For me, because my family was so much into church, what I did was my best friends or guys that were my boyfriends, I cling to people who have large families or who have loving families, because I just wanted a family environment. I wanted to see people cook out and people dance and people play cards and things like that, the things that weren't going on around me. And so you just persevere, you get through it, and once you get through it, and I started having children earlier. I was in Spingarn High School with a 3.8 grade point average. I just was determined. It made me be determined of what I did not want to be.
Your mother has been clean for 20 years.
She's been clean since 1999.
What is she doing now?
My mother's a missionary. She has probably 3 or 4 different jobs. She's always maneuvering between. She's a wife. She's a grandmother of 26, a great-grandmother, I think, of about 17. She's the matriarch of the family now. She's the go-to person. She can't sleep. Her phone blows up from 1 a.m. to 1 a.m. And so she's just the person that endures it all. You
all have to get this book. I wish we can have more time. Right. Where can they find this book?
So my book is carried on Amazon. It's carried on Nook, Kindle, Barnes & Noble. In fact, Barnes & Noble, this Saturday on Georgia Avenue, I'll be having my first book signing, 2225 Georgia Avenue, the Howard Barnes & Noble. From 1 to 3 p.m., I'm doing Q&A there if people want to ask questions about it. But they can get it on any available outlet.
Lastly, she's following her grandfather's footsteps. She's going to graduate from ministry school?
Yes, I go to Greater Mount Calvary, Calvary Bible Institute, pursuing my degree in ministry. When I finish that, I'll go on to Lancaster Bible College.
We just finished speaking with Gavata, the granddaughter of Bishop Walter McCullough. And you want more information, go to WHUR.com. I'm Candace Atkins with WHUR Digital. We'll see you guys soon. Congratulations.
Thank you.
First book? Ready
Yes.
for book number 2?
I think I'm gonna do a workbook.
A
workbook.
Journal book.
I want a workbook because I want that book to filter like into drug rehab facilities,
Oh, wow.
and so that they can use it for like discussion.
Okay. You going to run for office?
No, that I'm not. I have 7 grandchildren. I don't have time to run for office.
You got all that.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. How do we? Okay.
Yep, that's it.
Okay.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you. Let me take you.